we will say that this is skewed right. We are saying this early. Well, I'm going to say it again. Skewed right or positively skewed. And whenever the data is skewed, whether right or left, you use the median to make a decision. This data, if I draw this data here, which I call it bell-shaped. So when the mean is equal to the median, we say that the data is not skewed. If the mean is equal to median, the data is not skewed. So I can make decision with the mean. Well, if the data is skewed left, you still make decision with the median. When the data is skewed left, it means that mean is less than the median. So you make a decision with median. Whenever the data is skewed either right or left, you make a decision with the median. But when the data is skewed, or it's not skewed, it's bell-shaped, then you make a decision with the mean. So the reason why I'm talking about this is this question. This question asked us which measure of central tendency. By the way, the three M's, mean, median, and mode, are the measures of central tendency. And you are always told to calculate them. If you open your practice test now, it's there already. That is the first thing you want to know how to do. All right, so now since the mean is greater than the median, the measure of central tendency I need to use to make a decision in this data is the median. So that brought me into talking about skewness, even though we shall talk about skewness again. We will talk about skewness again. That is why the answer is D. The answer is not C. Because even though that the mean is 27.9 in C, the median is 19, and the mode is 13, the data is skewed right. So you are not allowed to make a decision with mean. The only time you make a decision with mean is when the data is normally distributed or the data is bell-shaped. Okay, so I'm going to go down and I'm trying to do the calculations. I start with calculations in this class because I don't want us to wait until I have 1 week to a test. This is 3 weeks to the test. So if we start calculations 3 weeks to the test, then we will be able to do the calculations. I'm coming back to group data and I'm coming back to histogram. But meanwhile, I want to make sure that we know what is called, there are things we need to know how to do first. So I'm going to go down and let's look at question number 21 and also look at question number 15. And by the way, let's look at 15 first. There is what is called stem and leaf data. Stem and leaf. So stem and leaf data is a way to organize quantitative variables. When you were in middle school, you probably did stem and leaf display. Okay. But anyway, this data is organized in stem and leaf plots. What in the world does it mean? I could be told to rearrange this data and bring back the original data. So if I'm told to do that, I know that the first number is 52. So 52 is the first number, followed by 55, followed by 57, and so on. Okay, 52, 55, 57, 57, 59, 59, and then 62, 63, and so on. I could also be asked what is the maximum number in this question. The maximum number is 81. So I could actually be given a stem and leaf plot, and I'm told to find the minimum number. The minimum number is 52, the maximum number is 81. Also, I could be told to find the mean, median, and mode. If you are given a stem and leaf plot and you are told to find the mean, median, and mode, you put this data in your list and do what we just did before. You do one variable stat. Don't try to find it without calculator. You put the data from the list to the greatest and find the mean, find the median. You can as well look at here and find what is the mode. Okay, let's see what the mode is. We can see the mode from here. Okay, 5 repeated 2 times, that's 57. Also, 59 repeated 2 times, 69 repeated 2 times, 75 repeated 2 times, 80 repeated 2 times. There are multiple modes in this data. The first mode is 55, followed by 59, followed by 69, followed by 75, followed by 80. So a data can have a lot of modes. Okay, we will come back to this, but these calculations are going to help a lot because by the time we're going to do a test, you are not going to be struggling. You will not be struggling on how to do the use your calculator. So let's go to number 17. When we answer question number 17, you will actually know how to calculate the 5-number summary, even though we have done it before. All right, so number 17, actually, from number 17 to 21 says, find the minimum number, the maximum number, all right, the quartiles, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, the range, and the interquartile range. First of all, we want to remember from elementary school that the range is maximum minus minimum. The range is maximum number minus minimum number. The interquartile range, let me write it, just interquartile range is this. You can write it as IQR. I'm not sure what is wrong with this. So interquartile range can be written as IQR. All right, IQR. What's wrong with you? And IQR, okay, let me pull back my and see if it's going to write better for me. So IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So let me clean this. So what is IQR? IQR is always interquartile range. And interquartile range, IQR, no, my whiteboard is behaving better. It's equal to third quartile minus first quartile. Third quartile minus first quartile. Very soon we shall be told to find the upper hinge and lower hinge, which is we shall be told to do that. Okay. Remember today I said we're going to start with calculations. The calculations start from chapter 2, quantitative variables. And the calculations we are doing is quantitative variables. The other day we talked about qualitative variables and making sure we know what a qualitative variable is. The addition and subtraction does not make sense in qualitative variables. All right, and nominal and ordinal represent quantitative variable levels of measurement. Okay, but interval level of measurement and ratio level of measurement actually are used in quantitative variables. So I want you to know that whenever I'm told to find the 5-number summary, find the minimum number, I'm doing calculations. So if arithmetic makes sense, then I'm actually doing what is called quantitative variables. So I'm doing calculations with quantitative variables because arithmetic makes sense. Okay, so let's do number 17. Let's do number 17. So the question in number 17, I am told to find the minimum number, the maximum number, the quartiles, the range. I have a lot of things to calculate. The interquartile range. Another way of saying find the 5-number summary and find the range and interquartile range. The 5-number summary are the minimum number, maximum number, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile. Okay, so it means that we have to open our calculator, type in. So I'm going to open my calculator and clear what is in there. Then I open my STAT edit. This is what we have done all this time. So knowing how to use your calculator and knowing how to do one variable start is actually the first thing you have to learn in this class. And this class actually, we have to clear enter. It's a little bit fast paced, so that I hope you're not expecting me to start doing the definitions, number one definition. No, the important thing is what I'm doing calculations, making sure that I'm showing you how to use the calculator. That way, on the test day, you will not, because units chapters 2 and 3 are calculations. All right, so the first thing I want to do is put the data in number 17 in my L1. By the way, I like using L1. It's not that you can't use L2. You can use any of the lists from L1 to L6, but I actually like using L1 as the default. Okay, so I'm typing in the data. 23, enter. 8, enter. 11, enter. 33, enter. Just be careful. People make mistakes. 13, enter again. 25, 27, 3, 36, 31. All right, so I have entered all the data. I want to make sure that I entered all the data. So my calculator is asking me to put in the 12th number. So I already know that the sample size or the count is 11. Let me count. Make sure there are 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have to do this. Don't be too much in a hurry. You have to do this. Make sure that you put in the count, the sample size as it is. And then if I were you, the first thing I want to do is to sort the data in ascending order. Okay, so let me see. Can anybody there tell me? I have done this more than 4 times today. Can anybody unmute and tell me how to sort this data in ascending order? Anybody? Anybody unmute yourself? Tell me how. Tell me how to sort the data in ascending order. Anybody, you can just unmute yourself. Are we, do I still have somebody there? Hopefully I do. All right, hopefully I do have somebody there. Are you paying attention? All right, to sort in ascending order, what you do is, let me go back to that worksheet. To sort in ascending order, you just go to, see the data is in L1, so, but it's not sorted in ascending order. So what you do is you go to STAT and select sort ascending, which is number 2. And then it's asking you, where is the data that you want to sort in ascending order? I am sorting the data in L1 in ascending order. So second L1 and close parentheses. I hit enter. Done. So I have sorted the data in ascending order. So the next thing now is to do the calculation. So I'll go back to STAT and this time go to arrow to calc and do one variable stats. Before some of you came in, this worksheet is in Blackboard and it has answers. So you want to practice with it also, whatever you can do to make an A in the test. I also put a sample test in Blackboard. Our first test will be on the 6th. There will not be a lot of definitions there. I can tell you that already. That will not be, I don't have more than 3 or 4 questions from chapter 1 there because these calculations are more important. So I just want to let you know that we will have more calculations in the test. That's why I do start with calculators. But there's a whole lot of things to study in this class. So I'm choosing the ones that we need most. Okay, so the data I want to sort in ascending order is in L1, and I'm calculating this data actually, one variable stat. My calculator wants to know if I have frequency. No, I don't have frequency, but this is because this is not a grouped data. I don't have frequency. It is not a group data. So I will leave frequency vacant. I will not put anything there. Okay, it's asking me, do I calculate? Sure, calculate. When I hit enter, it just gave me the mean, but I don't need the mean. The question is not asking me about the mean this time. Numbers 1 and 2 ask me about the mean, so I give the mean. This time it's not asking me about the mean. So I'm just going to skip. Okay, so the question is asking me the minimum number. So I'm going to arrow down and look for the minimum number. The minimum number, according to my calculator, is 3. You're looking at it right here. Minimum number is 3. Let me pull my whiteboard up. Strong. Okay. So I'm just going to get this again, and I'm going to clean. So I want to write what my calculator gave me here. So according to my calculator, the minimum number is in this question is 3. So I put in 3 here, minimum number. First minimum number is 3. The first quartile, Q1, according to this, first quartile is 11. Median, which is the second quartile, is 23. I'm asked to find all the quartiles. So that's why the third quartile is given to me as 31. The maximum number is given to me as 36. Maximum number is 36. This is minimum number. Minimum number. Minimum number is 3. And then I am told to find the range. The range is maximum minus minimum. So range is 36 minus 3. 36 minus 3 is 33. I am also told to find the interquartile range. The interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. I'm going to make my board larger. So IQR, which is interquartile range, what does it mean? It means find the difference between the third quartile and the first quartile. That's what is called the interquartile range. So what is the third quartile? 31. What is the first quartile? 11. Therefore, what is the interquartile range? 20. I hope you agree. And anytime you don't agree, let me know. So the IQR is 20. So IQR is equal to 20. Is there any question? So I have answered that question number 17. I'm going to answer another one that looks like that. So when we come next time, we'll look at grouped data, histogram, relative frequency. Those things are what we need right now. Chapter 1, I have told you, it is in the homework, but a lot of them will not be in the test. Chapter 1, sections 1.1 to 1.5, you're going to read them and do the homework. But really, I'm starting from chapter 2. Chapters 2 and 3 will be in the test. By the way, let me pull up a sample test, which I put in Blackboard this morning so you can see it. I put a sample test in Blackboard. So it doesn't mean this doesn't mean that this is your test, but this is the sample test, the one that I gave the online class last semester. Okay, so it says determine whether the underline is a parameter or statistics. All right, so this question is from chapter 1. You already know that if it's a parameter, it's a characteristic of a population. If it's a statistic, it's a characteristic of a sample. Okay, so that's what you can get from chapter 1. There is also something about qualitative and quantitative variables. You have to remember what a quantitative variable is. Arithmetic makes sense. A quantitative variable can be discrete or continuous. Both of them are quantitative. So these two questions are from chapter 1, I think. But anyway, that's not going to be. So you see from question number 3, calculations are there. A lot of all the things you have are calculations. Okay, so I'm just showing you what we have in. I'm not saying you shouldn't read chapter 1 because all this pie chart are in 2.1. Pie chart is what you did in middle school. So I want you to know that every practice test, even this sample test, has, I want you to see, it has answers. That was the sample test for last semester. It will have answers, so you can just go there. And so I will actually want you to, as long as you're doing your homework, I want you to eyeball, make sure you always eyeball the sample test in Blackboard. That kind of gives you a guidance on how to study for the test. I want you to have guidance on how to study for the test. Okay. We have, okay, so I'm going to be stopping the class in 3 minutes so I can entertain questions. Okay, see, I want you to see this question now. We have already done this, but we haven't explained. You are given this question. It's a population question. I think I'm going to answer that question that way, you know. Find the population mean or the sample mean. Somebody has a question. Unmute and ask that question, okay?
Oh, I was just going to ask, with the random number charts on homework 1.3, it'll have like the president dropped his ink pen in row 2, column 4, and then you have to list the random numbers, but I don't understand what you're supposed to multiply or anything.
I'm not going to put that question in a test because it's always a headache for every class, but I want you to make sure you do your best to do very well in that 1.4 and 1.3. I've already had more than 10 people asking questions on that. But one thing I want you to know that the random numbers will not be in the test, but I'll be glad to answer that question next class. But one thing I want to let you know that I'm not just going to put that random number in the test. What is important is what I just gave you, guidance for the
Since the homework
test.
is due though before the next class, how do we get the homework correct?
Okay. So maybe because of that, what section is that?
1.3.
1.3. That's everybody's asking question on 1.3. Okay, I might have to extend 1.3 to next week so we can have time to do it and so we can answer questions there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can extend that 1.3 so we can answer questions there because I have more than 10 people asking questions about random numbers. I can actually show you to you next Tuesday. That way, I can make a video on random numbers and show you. Is that okay? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Yeah, I can make a video on that random number. And if I see that many people are still interested in that, then I can push 1.3 to, even though I changed the dates in my lab maths this morning to correspond with our class calendar, nothing stops me from moving a section forward if we are having problems. Because the reason why I want to move it forward is that I have 10 people asking the same question. So that means that this section we need to look at it more. So I might have to move 1.3 to next week, even though assignment is due this weekend. I hope that is clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that way you don't want to spend all your time doing it. Just know, I think I'm going to send an announcement. I'm going to move 1.3 to next week. That way you don't spend all the time you have doing that 1.3, okay? All right, so well, I want to make sure, in fact, we can leave it, but do I still have, yeah, I have time. Let me go back and answer that question I wanted to answer. The reason why I want to answer this question is I want you to pay attention to a question like this. Please pay attention to a question like this. This question is asking you that this data given to you is a population. So be careful. You are told that this data is a population. Find the mean, find the population mean, and probably population standard deviation. So you'll be told to find the population mean and population standard deviation. So quickly, because it's an easy question that people fail all the time, because I have taught this class for more than decades. It's an easy question that people fail all the time. Let's just do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to L1 again. I hope you know how to get there. I'm going to clear my L1, clear, enter. And I'm given a population data. Given a population data 8, 17, 14, 10. So I'm going to type them in. 8, 17, 14, 10. All right, that's supposed to be 10. All right. 8, 17, 14, 10 is population data. And I'm told to find the mean. That is the population mean. Everybody look. I don't need to sort it in ascending order because the question says find the mean only. So I'm going to go straight to stat, arrow to calc, one variable stat, and one variable stat of L1 because the data is in L1, calculate. Okay. Even though my calculator told me that the mean is 12.25, the difference between sample mean and population mean is sample mean is X bar. Sample mean is X bar, sample mean. All right, this doesn't write well. Okay, I'm going to clear and make sure I explain this, that everybody gets it. All right, so usually when I calculate the mean, the gives me that X bar, according to this one, is 12.22, something like that, 12.25. That is what my calculator gave me. Well, the question says find the population mean. Please note that population mean is mu. Therefore, you are the one using the calculator. You will say that population mean is 12.25. The sample mean is X bar, 12.25, but this is not a sample. The question is not a sample question. It's a population question. So somebody who gives you this wants to know if you know the difference between sample mean and population mean. Do you know the difference between population parameter and sample characteristics? Is this question what I'm saying? So your answer will be in B. Even though it's the same answer, the answer will be in B. If you put it in A, you failed it. So I'll put 12.25 because it's a population parameter. Why? The data is a population data.